What's up, kind of grown fam? I still have not checked the poll yet because these episodes are recorded back to back. So I'm gonna stick with kind of grown fam right now, and I will check the poll once everyone has voted. I'll give it like a week, then I'll stick with whatever you all have come up with. Now that I've gotten that out of the way, I feel like I gotta start this one a little bit different today. Because this episode is basically about something we all deal with every single day, but nobody really stops and thinks about it. We just accept it. We just accept that we can send a message like that. Somehow that can either mean I'm locked in, I got you, or I don't care, leave me the hell alone. Same word, two completely different realities, and nobody questions it. We live in a world where communication is kind of broken, but functional. It's like driving a car with one mirror missing, and we just accept it and say it's fine. And I don't know when it happened, but texting became the main way we communicate now. Like, not just friends, everything. Plans, relationships, arguments, apologies, jokes, everything. And somehow we're all expected to interpret tone perfectly through a glowing rectangle with no emotion. So today we're talking about text tones, talking versus texting, accidental sarcasm, which I'm excited to get into because that's when I do that a lot, and a few other things. And I feel like the older I get, more I realize most drama isn't even a real drama. It's just misunderstanding stacked on misunderstanding until somebody finally just says NVM, never mind. And the funny part is, both people usually think they're right. Both are sitting there like, nah, they came at me weird first. When at when in reality, nobody came at anybody. It was just a bad text. So yeah, let's get into it. Text tone misreads are the root of like 80% of unnecessary problems. And it's crazy because it starts so small. Like you'll send a normal message, yeah, I'm good. That's it. That's like all you said. But now the other person is sitting there reading it like, yeah, I'm good, but I'm actually mad, or I hate you and I'm reconsidering our entire friendship. And you didn't mean any of that shit. You just meant you're good. But texting doesn't carry tone. It doesn't carry like facial expressions. It doesn't carry the little pauses in your voice that make things sound softer. So people fill in the blanks themselves. And here's the problem: people don't fill in blanks neutrally, they fill them in emotionally. Especially if you're like, shit, 13 to 16. If someone is already slightly unsure about you, you saying K turns into hostility. If they like you, like your K is chill, same message, different emotional filter. And I remember this one time, it's like a perfect example. Someone texted me, all right, and I stared at it for like a full minute, like I was decoding a secret message. Because in my head, I was like, is that all right? Thumbs up? Like, or is that all right or whatever? And I started overthinking it so much that I almost responded with another message just to test them. Like, that's how far people go. And the worst part is the punctuation. A period at the end of the sentence online has a completely different emotional meaning than in real life. All right feels like a disappointment. Then all right without a period feels neutral. And all right with a emoji feels passive aggression disguised as politeness. People have created emotional meaning out of punctuation, and nobody taught us this shit. We collectively agreed on it as a society without talking about it. Once you notice it, you can't unnotice it. No, every message has hidden emotional layers. Even something like a simple okay becomes a full analysis. Because now your brain is like, why didn't they add anything else? Why is it so short? Or why is it just like that? Main things is people are just busy and don't like they just need to respond real quick. So sometimes they're just replying, but texting doesn't show effort, tone, or intention. So we assume, and assumptions are where everything starts going wrong. I think one of the biggest examples of this is when someone replies slower than usual, because suddenly our brain changes and it's like something changed, even if nothing did. It could just be they got distracted, they're at work, they're driving, or they're just living their life. But your brain doesn't care. Your brain is like, nah, this is the situation now. and now you're analyzing a message that wasn't even deep. And the truth is, most people don't realize how much weight their tiny messages carry. A single bet can determine the entire emotional direction of a conversation. All that shit is insane when you think about it, really. Some people are just two completely different humans, depending on how you're talking to them. Versus talking versus texting. In person, they're funny, smooth, easy to read, but over text, they sound like they're being held hostage by a keyboard. Like the yeah, LOL, or IDK, and then you see them in real life, and they're like, "Nah, bro, I was dying. I was actually hilarious." And you're sitting there thinking, "Who are you texting?" Because the energy doesn't match, and I think a big part of it is that just texting forces everyone into the same format. No tone, timing, or expression, just words. So even people with big personalities get flattened into short responses. Notice something too: people who are really expressive in real life tend to overcompensate in text. So they'll add like 17 emojis to make sure you don't think they're mad. Like, yeah, I got you, laughing emoji, fire, fire. Meanwhile, other people go completely minimalist and no emoji, no punctuation, just raw text. And now you've got a conversation between, hey, how are you, and good. And nobody knows what that means emotionally. Wild thing is, neither person is actually wrong. They're just speaking, I guess, different text languages. Some people text like they talk, some people text like they're writing notes, or text like they're trying to get it over with as fast as possible. And that creates confusion where there shouldn't be any. I think another layer is that texting removes feedback. When you talk to someone in person, you can adjust instantly. You see their face change or hear their tone shift, and you adjust your energy, but over text, you send it and just wait. No feedback loop, no correction, no, oh, I should have said that differently. Just live with it. And that's where a lot of misunderstandings grow because silence gives your brain too much room. This one out of everything I'm talking about today, I think this applies to me the most. I know I don't show it much here on the podcast. This one is dangerous because it starts as a joke and ends as a full explanation thread. Because you're in your head, sarcasm is obvious. You'll say something like, yeah, you're totally right, you're a genius. And you think it's clearly a joke, but the other person is not sitting there like, are they mad at me or are they just playing around? Now instead of laughing, they're analyzing. And once someone starts analyzing that text, it's over. Because now every word gets inspected, every emoji gets studied, every period becomes evidence, and suddenly you're not in a conversation anymore. Feels like you in a case study. Now you're just sitting there, no, I was literally joking. But now you've got to explain the joke, which kills the joke, which makes it even worse. And the more you explain it, the more it sounds like you're covering something up. So now you're in this loop of, I swear I was joking, I wasn't serious, and I promise I'm not mad, and they're still unsure. I think the worst part is when sarcasm actually lands wrong with someone who already doesn't know your humor well, because now they're not even laughing at the possibility of a joke. They're just confused, and confusion is way more than misunderstanding. Misunderstanding can be cleared up quickly, confusion lingers, sits there, and makes it every future message feel uncertain. So now, even when you're unserious, they're like, wait, are you joking again? And now your personality is under review, all because of one sarcastic text. One of the scariest texts. It can be from anyone, friend, partner, parent, anyone. The we need to talk. Nothing in human communication has ever caused more unnecessary anxiety than those four words. We need to talk. That's it. No context, no emoji, no explanation. And your brain immediately goes into survival mode. I mean, shit, you're thinking, what did I do? Who did I upset? I say something weird 2 weeks ago that I forgot about, but they didn't. Now you're mentally replaying every interaction with that person like it's a crime investigation. You're remembering things like, did I respond too late that one time? Did I leave them on red? Did I say something that could have been taken wrong? Even things that didn't matter at all suddenly feel important. And your imagination starts building a whole storyline that doesn't even exist yet. Worst part is the waiting, because now you're stuck in anticipation. Anticipation is worse than the actual outcome most of the time because your brain has already lived through 10 versions of the worst case scenario. So by the time you actually get the explanation, you're relieved it's not what you thought, but still emotionally exhausted from thinking it was. This is where people really start losing peace for no reason. Someone takes 5 minutes to reply, and suddenly your brain's like, yeah, they're definitely pissed. Even though in reality they could be at work, in class, asleep, or doom scrolling and forgetting life exists. But texting created this fake timer where response speed equals emotional value. And once you start noticing it, it becomes automatic. You don't even choose to overthink it, you just do. And then you try to fight it, like, no, it's fine, they're just busy. Then another minute passes and your brain resets, and now you're back to, okay, but why are they not replying? It's a just infinite loop. No exit unless the message comes in. And I hate the damn red receipts because now you know exactly when someone saw your message, and that changes everything. Before you could imagine they just hadn't seen it yet, and now you know they saw it, and that knowledge creates pressure on both sides because now you're aware of their awareness. And that adds tension that does not need to exist. Mentioned it in the intro. LOL is one of the most confusing things in texting history because it can mean literally anything. It means I actually laughed, I'm being polite, don't know what else to say, I'm uncomfortable, I'm ending the conversation. So you're constantly guessing what version you got. And sometimes people just send LOL and nothing else. And that feels like a door closing slowly, not slammed, just gently shut. When you really look at all of this together, texting is kind of a broken system we all just agreed to use. We removed tone, timing, and expression, and then expected everything to still be understood perfectly. Honestly, most of the time it works fine, but it's just those small moments, the misreads, the sarcasm, the delay, that all create unnecessary tension. And I think the older we get, the more you realize a lot of communication issues aren't actually emotional problems, they're format problems. Anyway, if you ever reread a message 12 times trying to figure out what it meant, you're not alone. We've all been there. Appreciate y'all for listening this week. Make sure y'all check out all the socials. A lot of new stuff coming soon, like I said. These were recorded last week, and right now we're recorded like a day between, so I still haven't put that poll up. So I will check it Monday. I'm Nicholas Evans, and I'll see y'all in the next one. Peace.